Okay, if you have not muted yourself, if you would please go ahead and do that, that would be great. I don't think there's too much tonight where we'll be interacting all that much. And I apologize up front that I am sick, and so I'm kind of like nasally and all of that good stuff. Yes, you should totally drink wine on the call. And I should drink a bunch of like NyQuil. Okay, so basically, let's see. Welcome. My name is Traci Warren, and this is our Power of Three call for Tuesday, April the 28th. And thank you so much for joining us. I am, to be quite honest, I am going to try and get through our stuff as quickly as possible so that I can get to bed. Anytime that I fly, my immune system just goes down the tubes. Matt stayed on me and made sure that I got vitamin C in every day while I was gone. So I actually stayed well through the trip, but then got sick on the way home this time. So I almost made it, but man, the people hacking on the plane usually doesn't do me much good. So anyway, I apologize for just kind of being there tonight, and I'm not quite myself. But that said, there are some really great things that I want to share with you. And first of all, to do a bit of recognition, and I apologize in advance, I didn't have like tons of people messaging me saying, hey, give shout outs to so-and-so. But we do have somebody that, that Rachel Henry messaged me about, and that would be Brittany Vessels. She is a new coach. I can't remember exactly your start date, Brittany, but this girl in the last couple of weeks has not only gotten herself to Emerald, but she has also advanced her husband's business to Emerald. So talk about a driven girl. And she, right now, I think she's at Success Club 13, possibly. So just absolutely killing it with passion. She works full time. She's a nurse practitioner. So if you are working full time, that is not a really good excuse. And she has a family and little people at home that she's getting to different places and everything. So she is working very, very smart. And she's probably working really hard too. So props to you, Brittany. And I know also that Miss Kendra Carey has also hit Success Club for this month. So way to go, girlfriend. And I would like to see, we have got the 29th and the 30th to absolutely kill these last 2 days. And if you have already hit Success Club, don't be saving points for next month. No, no, no. I lived in fear that way for too long. I want them this month and as soon as possible, because that is going to build your self-confidence and that's going to spill over into next month, okay? So promise me that. Don't limit yourself. And for those of you that haven't hit it, I just went through the Coach Online office, and man, there are so many coaches, at least right now on our team, that have two. I'm like, and I know if I feel that way, you feel that way too. I know you do, because I have been there so many times. And it was such a relief this last weekend at Bo Eason to spend, and it wasn't very much time at all, but to chat just a little bit with Christine Dwyer. And she is one of the top coaches in this entire company. And as of this last weekend, you know, it was the 24th or 25th, she still hadn't hit Success Club 5 either. We all struggle with it the same way. Some people, yes, have these systems set in place and they just have people flowing in. But let me tell you, the majority of coaches, even some of these top coaches, do not have it come into them that easily. And we all start at zero every single month. So if I can do it, Lord knows if I can do it, then you can do it. And if I guarantee she may have already hit it by now, you know, between Sunday and Tuesday. But just because you haven't hit it at this point does not mean that you're writing it off and that it's not going to happen for you this month. If you need help closing, then we need to talk. If you need help overcoming some objections so that you can close, then let's talk. That should all be done on our Power of Three page. And I am here to help you. If you want to hold a three-way call or a three-way message with somebody, then let's do it. So let's see. Kenzie said she can't hear. Can you other guys hear? Are you? Yes? Okay. Sorry, Kenzie. It's just you, girlfriend, except I need to type it to her. Let's see. Yes, the others can hear. Okay. So we've got that. And then, oh, my own team, I had posted on our team page earlier today, and I apologize that this is just team directive versus power of three, but I said that I would reveal who the 3 coaches are that I was working with for 2015. And these women are ones that I have seen over the last number of months continuing to come to me to talk, which means they have a high priority placed on their business. They also do whatever it takes to make things happen, and that's really what I look for most of all, and I know that I can count on them. So those women are Christina Watkins, Amanda Markham, and Kendra Copper. So these are the ones that basically they have me 24/7. And all of my coaches have access to me message, by scheduling appointments on acuity.com and in my office hours. But what I figured out this weekend at Boeson was that there should be a select few, just like Boeson does in his mastermind group, if you will. And Shalene specifically trains a dozen people each year as her chosen few, if you will. So these are people that basically are getting just that much more attention. And so I want to encourage you to start prepping yourself to be one of those people for next year. The year's, seriously, it's like, where is the year going? It's already a third of the way gone. But what I have seen is that we lay the foundation one year to be somewhere next year. Okay, so I would encourage each and every one of you to lay that foundation this year. Start making an effort to be in my face. And seriously, I totally mean that. Be in my face every day, and not in an annoying way. Obviously, you want to add value, and don't message me and say, hey, how can I find XYZ if you haven't Googled it? Obviously use Google as your best friend, but step up and volunteer for leadership things, and make sure that we're having regular calls. Make sure that you are doing whatever it takes to hit Success Club. And if you are struggling, that you're reaching out. So anyway, at the end of this year, there will actually be a real application that you can apply for one of these spots for 2016. But to get things rolling now, that's the way it is for now. So if you have other questions, by all means, let me know that, because I don't want to in any way make anybody feel like they're not special, because you are. Each and every person I know can get to that point, and it's not too late for any one of us to reach Premier or Elite this year. It happens like crazy fast for some people. And so if you want to do that, then again, reach out to me. We'll break it down and help you get there. Okay, a couple of things that were specifically requested to go over tonight. One was how to reach out to a cold market. And second was figuring out targeting on Facebook, specifically for boosted posts and ads and that kind of thing. And then I also want to dig in a little bit into storytelling. And we had, okay, I'll stop there and then we'll get to that. Okay, first of all, your cold market. Now, I think the intent of this question was, what do we do when our Facebook friends run out? Where do we go? How do we, meet additional people, right? So there are so many different ways. One way, of course, is through different Facebook groups. And one thing that you're going to have to be careful of is that there are so many other businesses that have unfortunately ruined it for a lot of us by posting basically commercials all the time on Facebook, and even in those small, community type groups, that is not who we want to be. I talked with somebody today, and she's been in what I would call our competitors type organizations, and the main reason that she's been dragging her feet is because she doesn't want to be that person. And so, my response to her was, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to drag anybody if they're not ready. Then that's fine, because if they're dragging their feet as a prospect or a challenger turning into a coach, then I'm going to be dragging them as a challenger or a coach, and nobody's got time for that. I've got time to work with the people who are ready and willing, right? So that also kind of ties in if you're thinking, well, gosh, I don't have people ready right now and I'm not hitting Success Club yet. What am I going to do? You invite more people. And it's not too late to be inviting. You don't have to, in these last 48 hours, only be following up. I encourage you to keep inviting, because there are people who are ready and they're looking for something right now. It's not too late to invite. Okay, so you have access to other Facebook groups in things that have absolutely nothing to do with Beachbody, that have all to do with who you are outside of Beachbody. So that would be one option. The way that I have been most successful here lately is through my like page, and people liking the post and then me adding them as a friend. Currently, I've been doing three new friends per day on Facebook. That seems to be going fairly well. One thing that I have been doing that it really sounds like it's not really working is to hold in that message button and drag it to the URL on your personal page to message somebody without it going to their inbox. I really don't think it's working, which is frustrating because it makes me feel really good doing it. It makes me feel like I'm really working really hard. But if it's not an effective use of my time, then I really shouldn't continue it. So with that being said, I plan on continuing to friend 3 new people each day and message those people once they accept my friend request, and then invite them. I am inviting with the very first message. I'm not waiting to invite. When I invite them in my very first message, I'm not inviting them to a challenge group, a paid one. To me, that is a little too much. So, but what I am doing is I am inviting them to a free group or a sneak peek. Okay. Both of those I feel like are non-confrontational, not much commitment. I mean, it's free either way. And how do I decide which one to invite them to? I will most of the time use a combination of either looking at what their wall looks like. If there's somebody that has several inspirational things, or maybe they've posted recipes on their wall, if they post things on their wall that look like things that I would post as a coach, then I'm going to invite them to a sneak peek for sure. If there's somebody that don't have those things, then I invite them to the free group, whether it's clean eating or my sugar detox group or something like that. The other thing that I use as a determining factor is I will look at if they liked something on my page or commented on something on my page, then I will look at what it was that they liked or commented on. If they liked a sneak peek post, then I'm going to invite them to a sneak peek. If they liked a challenge group post, I'm going to invite them to a challenge group. And actually, if they liked a regular challenge group post, then I am going to go ahead and invite them to a regular challenge group. I'm not going to wait and invite them to a free group first. Because to me, most of the time that says I really want in, but I'm not confident enough to say that I want in. So that's how I make those deciding factors and who to do what with. Now that I don't feel like I've got direct access to people's inbox, I'm probably going to have to figure out some other way. I haven't talked to enough other coaches to see if other coaches are adding more friends than 3 per day, but I definitely don't want to risk getting kicked off of Facebook or anything. So I will probably take that and look over that over the next few days, because this has all been just very recent that I've really felt like it's not going to their direct inbox. Okay. So just about all of them are accepting my friend request. I'm trying to think. I usually schedule them out in Asana about a week. So if I get back to their name in a week and they have not accepted my friend request at that point, I will unrequest them as a friend so that I don't have too many friend requests sitting in there, because that can be a red flag for Facebook. So if they haven't accepted it in a week, I just unrequest it, and that way I can go forward continuing to request people as friends and not really worry about it too much. So yeah, that's really what I've been doing for cold market and meeting people. Now, if you don't have a like page, I would encourage you to get one. Or if you're using Instagram, of course, then and some of you guys I know we're still waiting for Elise for training on Instagram. But for those of you who are on Instagram and want to start doing that, Elise calls that filtering, and she will basically have a short conversation with somebody, and then when she directs them over to Facebook, that's what she's calling filtering. Okay, so if you're able to filter somebody from Instagram to Facebook, that's a step in the right direction for you Facebook users. And she, at that point, will get them on the phone, and she's a phone user. I'm not a phone user, she's a phone user. So you can decide what's best for you on that. Other cold market things, of course, would be in real life. And for me, what I have discovered is now that I've got my freemium set up, so that would be Shalene's code word for having free content that you can physically give to somebody. Once I set up mine is a free sugar detox week and includes a meal plan and everything, I really felt like now would be a good time for me to have a business card. Before, I had business cards made up, but I never used them because I'm doing everything online, Now that I've got something free to give somebody, all I need to have really is my landing page on that little card with my name, and they can go to my landing page directly from the little card. So I am going to have those made up. That would be a great way to work with a cold market. And just, like I'm sitting on the plane next to somebody this weekend and chatting, and I'm able to pass out my landing page. And it's something free, so it's not salesy or anything. And there's nothing that they can buy through my landing page, but it allows me to have their email address and start a conversation that way. So those are a few things that may help you with creating new friends in the cold market. Then for targeting, let me pull up the screen sharing here real quick, and I will apologize in advance. I should have gone ahead and had, hold on one second here, gang. I should have gone ahead and had Facebook pulled up for this. Okay, let's go to Ads Manager. Okay, let's see here, screen sharing. Okay, can somebody maybe give me a thumbs up that you can see my Facebook? Okay, good deal. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Let me see if I can figure this out. And here's another good thing. I know some of you that have followed my progress with my freemium, I have gone through a period of drought where I could not, for the life of me, figure out why my freemium was not getting any email addresses. It went from getting about 12 a day to 0 and 1 and 0 and 0. And I've been pulling my hair out trying to figure it out. Well, finally, I got it figured out this weekend. And now over the last 2 days, I got 22 new email addresses 2 days ago. I got 26 new email addresses yesterday. Pretty cool, huh? So that has to do with having your free content and then a Facebook ad that is directing people to your free content. And I'm telling you, let me just show you what this ad looks like because it is so not special. It's ridiculous. Okay, so this does not have to do with targeting. Okay, so here you go. See what I mean? It went to 0 for like, how many weeks was that? 3 weeks. And I was dying. I was just dying. And now it's back up, as you can see. So let's see what we've got here. If we click on this, here we go. Okay, all it is food on my kitchen counter. Picture of food on my kitchen counter. It says, join my free 7-day sugar detox plan and make your life better now. 7-day free sugar detox, grabthesweetlife.com. Now, I will tell you, when this evening, I saw that somebody had commented on this, and she said, I think it was just something simple, like, I know of something better. So I tagged her and I said, oh, what is it? I would love to know. So we'll see. That just happened right before the team call. And I'll be curious to see if she actually responds, because I guarantee she didn't even download it. Like, she just is probably somebody selling something. And so anyway, but I didn't delete it. I may delete it if she decides to get ugly or something, but I was just curious and wanted to be a little snot about it at first anyway. Okay, so there you can see what my ad is. To me, it's nothing special, but it seems to be working. And now targeting, placement, and whoops. Here's targeting and placement right here. You can go to edit. Another way down here, it says targeting, placement, and optimization. Click here, okay? So we're gonna go up here to where it says edit, but you can already see right here, these are the people that I want to attract. I have already determined that the people that I am attracting are older than me, like by a decade. Why, I don't know, but they are, so whatever. So anyway, motherhood, dieting, or pregnancy are the things that are the interests. And then I had my e-lancer increase the level of education, because I was finding that most of the people who liked my page did not have much education, and I connect more to people that are college graduates. And that suits my target market a little more closely. So anyway, that's there. And then basically friends of connections, friends of people who are connected to my like page. So that is there. And if you want to edit that, I'm not going to edit it, but I'll show you how you can. Hopefully it will come up tonight. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so right now over to the right, you'll see the little bar. You want to make sure that it is at least in the green. And this audience details, that's just a recap of what I just read off to you. But over here, I really only want to target women. And I already know from looking at my insights that this is the age range that my like page attracts. So if I already know who it attracts, then I'm going to just continue targeting that age range, okay? So you may want to look into your insights before you come and change your target audience here. I did put United States. Granted, we should be opening, somebody said this weekend that we're going to be opening Australia next, and I hadn't heard that yet, but anyway, that sounds like it's coming. Maybe that was something at Success Club trip. Okay, so education level, you can choose more demographics here, and then here's where you can choose your interests. Now, one thing that I think is a great idea, and my e-lancer who has been handling this, he didn't select it, but I think it's a super idea, is to include somebody who likes making online purchases, so online shopping. Because you're not going to run into somebody who's like, well, I only use cash. Can I give you cash for my challenge pack? No. So anyway, that may save you a headache every once in a while, once in a blue moon, if you put in, they like online shopping. And maybe you're a shoe queen and you want to put in shoes, or maybe you love makeup and want that. Whatever things that would connect people to you and that they would like seeing on your page, go to your page and see what you already post. See the things that you're naturally drawn to, and then put those in here. And then take into consideration the people that would be your ideal customer. I don't necessarily, as much as I love homeschool moms and I do speak to homeschool moms, they're not always going to be my best audience, even though I'm a homeschool mom, because Most of them are not used to spending any money on themselves at all. And they don't have an income to help them make that decision, you know? So I was a rare breed of the homeschool moms that actually had the drive to say, yes, I'm going to do this, even though I don't have the money initially, and I'm going to do it anyway. You know what I mean? Does that help? Do you guys have other questions on targeting that I could answer for you before we move on out of this? Here's behaviors. I think more than anything, you just have to play around with it and see what works, unfortunately. And that was something for me that I knew I didn't have time to do. I didn't have a desire to do it. So I went on Elance and I found somebody, and I can give you his name if you would like to. Basically, last week, I paid him $110 to get this up and going again. Now, I don't have to continue paying him on a regular basis. Once you get your ad up and running and it's going smoothly and you think it's in the right direction, then don't renew the milestone. Don't extend it. You know, I would let him know that, hey, I don't have the budget to keep this going every single week, but as I need you, I'll shoot you a message. And I think he's great for that. He did say, and because we were trying to figure out why mine just tanked all of a sudden, that if we were putting ads in front of the same, say, 5,000 people for 3 months, those 5,000 people probably just got maxed out on my ad. You know what I mean? Seeing the same ad over a period of 3 months. So it very well may be that it was just time to switch it up. And so now he switched it up. It's going well again. So his job for me is to keep an eye on it and keep tweaking it so that it stays optimized at its best. Make sense? Any questions? Anybody want to unmute and get anything else out of that? Okay. Oh, wait, did somebody unmute? No? Okay. Okay, so if you have other questions, feel free to shoot me a message or, put it on the Power of 3 wall or whatever. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to stop the screen sharing so that's not distracting. And go into a little bit about this storytelling. Now, oh wait, there's a chat. Let me make sure there's nothing in here. Yes, Power Editor, yes. And then, okay, so Holly, you're not confident. Oh, okay, so a couple different things. One is, yes, one of my weeks is going to be on freemium in the Diamond Dash. So I'll be using that week to talk about freemium. The second thing is, if you're not confident about your meal plan, switch it up. That said, people want things from you. All my meal plan is a week of the 21-day fix, and they think it's amazing. And I don't advertise it as the 21-day fix. It says nowhere in my whole freemium that it has anything to do with the 21-day fix. But they do 7 days of it, and then I'm able to go to them and say, hey, this week that you just lost 10 pounds on, that was the 21-day fix. Isn't that great? And so now you can continue it and use Shakeology because that's going to even make you feel better. So I do have a big conversion rate from using this meal plan into a challenge group because they know that it works for them. So I think that's lovely. Do I use the 21-day fix every day? No. But it doesn't matter because people have great results with it, and most of all, I think people have really great results starting there, and then they can tweak their diet from that good foundation. So does it have to be a meal plan? Absolutely not. And like I said, we'll be talking a lot more about that, but it doesn't even have to do with health and fitness, quite honestly. It doesn't. It just has to add value to people and be something that people would seek you out for. Okay, so can you do this on your regular Facebook page? No. You really do need a like page because that's where you're going to do your Facebook ads and be able to boost your posts and get out to people. There are good number of just quick tutorials on creating a like page, and you can just ask your upline to send you one of those on YouTube. And yeah, Amanda, yours is great. Hers combines scripture, healthy eating tips, and ways to start exercising. And then, so yes, you had asked, do I think it's because they have more disposable income? Yeah, in terms of being of the education level, that's part of it. But part of it is that I want people who have, who want to get out of their full-time jobs. Those people are pretty driven. If they want to stay home and get out of their full-time jobs, they're going to work their tails off for me. And so if they're already at home, they're already at home. You know, they might decide to be just a natural worker, but they don't have that fire under their tail for the most part. So I kind of prefer to work with people who are already working full-time. And so that's just my thinking on it. Okay. I think that was all the questions on there. Let me make sure. Okay, super. Okay, so we started talking on the Power of Three page about your story, and many of you have already put down the basis of your story on there. What I would like to challenge you on is to think way, way outside the box, outside of Beachbody on your story. For most of us, our story really doesn't have anything to do with Beachbody. And what might you need scissors for right now? Oh, great. Apparently I'm getting a present at 9:30 at night on a Tuesday. Okay, so here's what we did. And this weekend it's so not possible to wrap up into and we're already over time. It's so not possible for me to wrap this up into a nice, neat little package. And if you are able to save your money and get there next year to Bo Eason's event, do it. Just do it. It was so worth it. And even it's kind of funny because at the end of the first day, we came back to our hotel room and I stayed with 3 other coaches that I had never met before. And we none of us wanted to sort of put a damper on the mood, but it was just one of us that was kind of like, well, you think that was worth $2,000? And everybody said, oh, I'm so glad you said something, because I was wondering the same thing. Like, how on earth could this weekend be worth what we paid for it? But I'm telling you, by the end, it was just amazing. And literally, they were filming testimonials outside as we left, and this guy stopped me, and I had put my sunglasses on, so my eyes were starting to tear up, and he asked me if I wanted to give a testimonial, and I was like, no, what are you guys thinking doing this on the way out? Like, that was such mixed feelings, like, I don't even want to leave now. I'm crying under the sunglasses. So, no, I'm not going to give you a testimonial right now. And so anyway, it was really, really, truly amazing. But what I would like you to do is to jot down, get your pen and paper handy. You're not going to do this now, but you're going to write out what you need to do. The first thing is to write down 10 of the coolest things about you. And I don't want descriptive words. I don't want like focused, driven. I want things that are experiences. I want full statements. What are the things that have made you really, really cool? It's not that they can't be tied to descriptive words like that, but there needs to be some action, if you will, behind those. For me, some of the things that I wrote down, I got married on the beach in Maui. I joined an MLM despite of whispers. Seriously, I could hear my family whispering behind my back in the other room. I had a home birth, a water birth at that. I lived in Ecuador as the first study abroad student in my high school. I walked out on an abusive marriage during the night in my pajamas. Those are pretty cool things about me. What are the cool things about you that make you you? And everybody has them. Don't discount anything. Okay? Okay, the next thing I would like you to do truly is to jump right in. What we had to do was basically, after that, we had to share in 3 minutes with a partner. And I think, well, I was going to say this would be really cool to message your success partner, but your success partner may be from another team that would have no idea why you're messaging them this story. So that might not be the greatest idea. But if you have a success partner that's, in our Power of Three team, whether it's for the Diamond Dash or not, I would encourage you guys to exchange these things and help each other work on your story. So we basically had to put our story into 3 minutes, our life story. How is it that we have ended up where we are today? And pretty much, if you think about it, those 10 coolest things should be the defining moments of your life. So if you want to go back and make an asterisk by the coolest things, one of my defining moments might be that, and this isn't necessarily one of the coolest things unless I clarify it with defining moment and then go back and sort of add it in there. But I ended up not being scarred by my parents' divorce. That was a defining moment in my life, that took me a completely different direction than what I would have been had they stayed together. But for the majority of people, that's been a really big deal in their lives. And for me, it was a positive. Go figure. So go back and look at your coolest things. See if those are defining moments. And if they're not, you may think around each one, and see, was there a defining moment? Was there some event in my life that is tied to that? Or do I need to add some of the things that were the defining moments of my life? Now, there are, I don't know if an activity would be exercises. There are exercises that you can do to get you into the right frame of mind. We did something called the Alexander Technique. And you can go on YouTube and you can learn about the Alexander Technique. You can take yourself through some relaxation music, some meditation music, and spend some good quality time getting into the right frame of mind about these. Every single day, there were tears shed by, I would say, every single person in that room. It was very, very emotional to think back over our lives, because typically your pain, most of your triumph is going to come from your pain. So don't shy away from that. It doesn't have to have anything to do with being fat. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Beachbody, okay? Okay, so then once you've got basically your story, 3 minutes, you're going to cut it down to 2 minutes. And then you're going to cut it down to a minute. And then you're going to cut it down to 30 seconds. And then you're going to cut it down to one truth statement. One. And when you start your story, you are always going to start your story in the middle of the story. So when we do the business opportunity presentation on Thursday night, the very first line of that business presentation is going to be, when I was 4, I was punished for something that I would do 30 years later. Does that make you curious? Yeah. Do you want to know more? Yeah. When you have that one truth statement and then you expand on it, that clinches your audience and they will stay with you. Okay? So you need one true statement. A lot of times it's going to start with, when I was 10 years old, when I was 22 years old. It doesn't have to be when you're a kid. Many times it is. If any of you have questions about your truth statement, feel free to just shoot it in a message to me. And I'll tell you if you're on the right track or not based on what we learned this weekend. Because like I said, we don't have forever to go through this stuff tonight. You're going to have more than one. And depending on your audience, you may be telling a slightly different story. And you can come up with lots of different truth statements. It doesn't have to be just one, okay? So I think that's important to know. The other thing that we had to do was to take our 3-minute story and then write that exact same story from somebody else's eyes. So I chose to write my story from my mom's eyes. So that's going to be another step that you want to write down. Write it from somebody else's perspective. Okay? That's part of the process. The next one is you are going to write your story as if it's a fairy tale. And you're going to start with once upon a time. And that's the fairy tale version. And it's crazy. Like, take the time to do that. You know, at first I just thought, well, that's just kind of dumb. But things come out when you're doing it that way. It's just the weirdest process. There was a doctor there, a psychologist, and she said, optimum health is putting a narrative to your life. Here's the thing. When we have challengers and when we as coaches are trying to get healthy and we are not addressing our story, our weight is not going to come off the same. We're still hiding behind our story. And fat is, and poor health is one way that we hide our story. Okay? It is a whole person that needs to be healthy. We also talked a lot about our body language. When you stand like this, you're protecting yourself. When we stand like this, we're protecting ourselves. We spent a lot of the weekend simply standing with our hands down to the side, standing with our arms out, standing with our feet, our toes pointed straight. If your toes are pointed out, that shows that you want to escape. We worked with the same body language expert that trains like Leonardo DiCaprio and all sorts of the big movie stars. And we spent a lot of time actually taking on the persona of an animal. And you should see 100 people in this auditorium all spread out over the stage and in the aisles and everything, mooing and barking and roaring, seriously, on our hands and knees, slithering like a snake, and learning how to put what is in our head into a narrative and then how to express that most effectively with our body language. So same thing, that just reminds me, this is good. This, not so good. So anyway, it was just absolutely fascinating. But basically, I want to repeat that. Optimum health is putting a narrative to your life. And on one side of the brain is our story. On the other side is our health. And when we can connect both sides of the brain like that, that is optimum health. And literally, we're trying to fuse two sides of the brain together. So you will find that as we, and again, it kind of goes back to people's why. It makes sense. When we can get to people's story, when we can help them express that verbally and express that in narrative, they are going to be more healthy. And that's what we want for people. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, last but not least for tonight, and we can work more on this for sure, but let me read through this real quick, and then I'm going to give you the breakdown of an effective story, and then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, so Dr. Rosenberg, again, was talking about when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're actually at your greatest strength. And I think probably most of you already realize that, you know, in the amount of coaching that we do. The emotion is going to come. So I think this will be healthy for you to know as you are working on your story, and spend time on it. We get so busy trying to get points and trying to do this and trying to invite and stuff. You may have to set aside some quiet time, over the weekend and do this and escape, by yourself, go to Starbucks or the library and do this kind of thing. But the emotion is going to come when you're doing this. And emotion allows us to connect, and it's just like the super glue. So don't be afraid of the pain. Don't be afraid of the emotion that comes when you're digging into your story. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'll be done in a minute. And I think it's interesting. She said that we talk about feelings coming up. We don't ever talk about feelings going down. Feelings come up. Feelings don't go down. We don't repress the feelings. Let the feelings come up, and they're going to lift you up and ride the wave. That was what I told the guy as I walked away from the video camera. I was like, okay, I'm going to go ride the wave because, the emotions were coming up again. And while I was not ready to give my testimonial, I was ready to ride the wave. And we have to understand that this allows us to be alive and experience vitality. Some tips as you are making your way through. A lot of times you may come across grief in your discoveries as you're writing your story, and you may go through the regular stages of grief. So one, you may see that what you got, you didn't deserve. You may find that you got what you deserved, you didn't get. You may find that you're grieving over what never was. You're grieving over what you've got now, and you may grieve over what may never be. We all want to know what the impact and meaning of these defining moments are, right? But don't stress over that. And we do ask yourself, how am I going to use this in the future? And you need to understand that this moment, the moment of grief, that's your old story. That's the story that's the narrative that you've already experienced. Now you're ready to live the new story. Okay? That was the old story. We're getting ready to live the new story. Okay? And that new story you can write. And when you get stuck, which you may get stuck during the process, you may want to write these words down. You can say, up until now, I was ... That'll allow you to make that transition from the old story to the new story. Up until now, I was. Okay? Okay, now to break down this little structure, and I apologize that we're going late. First of all is your personal story. So that's what we've been talking about now. And this is sort of the structure of a speech, if you will, of, talking to your story and using your story to get somewhere. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be basing our business opportunity presentation off of. Okay, so the first part is your personal story. Start in the middle of the good stuff. Use this for your Facebook posts. Start in the middle of a story. Start with the good stuff. Okay, the greatest gift that you can give someone is to invite them into your own story. And when we have that first statement of truth, that invites people in. They picture themselves in your story. When I say when I was 4 years old, they're not picturing me when I was 4. They're picturing themselves when they were 4 years old. Okay? And you invite them by sharing your story. Number 2 is to train them with 3 critical steps. Now, your 3 critical steps are found by asking yourself this. If I'm going to go down on a plane tonight, what are the 3 lessons I wish I've told my kids, told my family? if I'm going down on a plane, what are the 3 things, 3 lessons I would have wanted the world to know? That could very well be the most important thing of this entire call. And you need to attach a story to each. Attach a personal story to each one of those 3 lessons. Okay? People don't know what they want. You talk about what's important to you. Okay? And last, you have an offer that you're making. And again, we're going to attach a story to that. So I will probably say in the business opportunities presentation something along the lines of, do you care if I tell you what it takes to hang out with us? And then I'm going to explain what it actually takes to hang out with us as a team. And so then you make your offer. And again, you're going to attach a story to it. So to recap just real quick, first is personal story. Then you train them on your 3 critical steps. And then last, you make your offer. Okay? Questions. How long will the business opportunity presentation call be? Yeah, you know what? I don't really know. Sorry. I would not be surprised if it goes close to an hour. And I'm not going to shy away from that. Most of them are about an hour long. And my goal is to train them on the 3 critical steps that I feel absolutely passionate about. Let me pull this back up. Currently, and I might be changing them a little bit between now and then, but currently they are, you're loved by God and you have a special purpose in this life. The second one is live your passion and the ultimate freedom is yours. And the third is share your story because that's the greatest gift that you can give to other people. So I'm going to tell a story about each one of those and how that fits into Beachbody coaching. And then we will go through what our breakdown is. And we may not have as many details about, the Beachbody challenge or I haven't decided yet if I'll have, like my pay on there or anything like that. Because most often people care about their story. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And we'll include some details, but there's also going to be room for being able to say, if you're still curious about this and you're a details person, I can send you XYZ numbers if they're a numbers person. Other questions? The 3 critical steps are what they're going to be personal to you. So that's the answers to the question, if I was going down on a plane, what are the 3 lessons I wish I would have taught to my loved ones? That's going to be your 3 critical steps. Oh, okay. So yeah. So for the business opportunity presentation, they're going to be number 1, you are loved and you have a special purpose in this life. Number 2, when you live your passion and you're doing what you love, that is the ultimate freedom. And number 3, what did I say it was? Oh, share your story.
Yeah.
And it's based on, initially I wrote down 3 words. The first one was acceptance. The second one is freedom. And the third was healthy generosity. So I'm going to be talking that, that's sort of where paying it forward and building a team would fit in. That all goes along with share your story and have a healthy generosity. The first one, acceptance, that would be our challenge groups and building self-confidence and learning to love yourself. That's going to be the first one. Freedom, living your passion, that is going to be an intro, to what Team Beachbody is all about and being able to be free with our time and with our money, and being able to have choices. Those things by choices. And that's our ultimate freedom. And then the third would be paying it forward and sharing our story. So that's going to be the breakdown of the business opportunity presentation. Any other questions? Okay. Awesome. Okay, well, thanks again. I apologize for it going so long. But man, I'm telling you, when we get our stories down and when you can effectively share your story, your business is going to take off, and it's going to be something that, regardless of how successful we are, if you've shared your story, then that's the ultimate. You know, you can go to bed at night feeling like you've done what you needed to do because you were training people on those life lessons that you need everybody to know before you go down on the plane. And when you're training people on that and educating people and helping them to know the things that you're most attached to, then that's fulfillment. So, all right. Well, thank you, gang, and I will talk to you all on the group page. All right. Talk to you guys later. Thank you.